Few stories in modern American religion rival the rise and influence of Joel Osteen. Once a pastor of humble beginnings, he now stands atop a sprawling empire valued at over $150 million, preaching to tens of thousands weekly in a transformed NBA arena. His reach extends worldwide through broadcasts and digital platforms, promising hope and prosperity. Yet behind the carefully curated image lies a series of scandals, financial mysteries, and security lapses that threaten the foundation of his church. The question looming over this mega ministry is simple. How did it come to a point where everything could unravel? Lakewood Church, a global stage. Lakewood Church is unlike most congregations. Once the home of a professional basketball team, the arena now hosts 16,000 seats, filled across multiple weekend services to accommodate 50,000 attendees. The stage glows with lights and LED screens, while camera crews capture the energy for a worldwide audience. Beyond Houston, sermons reach homes in over 100 countries, translated into multiple languages, touching hospital rooms, prisons, and hotels. The church operates simultaneously as a place of worship, a media company, and a marketing powerhouse. Its scale is staggering, making it one of the largest religious operations in the world. Digital reach and influence. Osteen's influence goes far beyond physical attendance. Millions stream services online, share clips on social media, and purchase books worldwide. Lakewood's digital strategy amplifies every sermon, making its messages accessible anywhere, anytime. Social media engagement turns followers into global participants, creating a sense of intimacy even from thousands of miles away. This digital presence strengthens brand loyalty, ensures continual donations, and maintains relevance in a media-saturated world. The church's reach demonstrates how modern ministries can leverage technology, yet it also highlights a dependency on perception and engagement rather than traditional spiritual community. The prosperity gospel engine. At the core of Lakewood's appeal is the prosperity gospel. Joel Osteen preaches a message that prioritizes health, wealth, and happiness through faith, rarely touching on sin, judgment, or repentance. This theology aligns seamlessly with the American dream, promising tangible rewards for belief and devotion. Over decades, this message has created millions of followers, fueling book sales, speaking tours, and licensing deals. For believers, the focus on hope and positivity is comforting. For critics, it raises concerns that the ministry's priorities may be more commercial than spiritual. The prosperity message is both a magnet and a lightning rod for scrutiny. Financial empire and wealth. Osteen's personal wealth, built largely through royalties and licensing, rivals that of prominent corporate leaders. Lakewood's revenue streams include donations, merchandise, media deals, and tours. While the pastor claims no formal salary, the financial benefits of his empire are undeniable. The church's influence ensures a continuous flow of money, reinforcing the perception of divine favor. Yet this concentration of wealth also invites questions about transparency and accountability. Critics argue that a ministry of this size should maintain clear financial records, especially given its tax-exempt status. And yet Lakewood remains largely opaque, controlled tightly by the Osteen family. 2017 Houston flood controversy. It's August 2017. Houston faced devastating floods, displacing thousands. Lakewood Church, capable of sheltering thousands, remained closed initially. Official statements claimed the facility was inaccessible, yet images and videos contradicted these claims, showing dry entrances and empty parking lots. Social media erupted, highlighting a gap between perception and reality. Only after public pressure did the church open its doors. This episode exposed vulnerabilities in the ministry's public image, suggesting that the carefully curated narrative of generosity could falter under real-world crises, leaving both followers and observers questioning its priorities. Hidden cash and financial questions. In March 2021, a plumber discovered nearly $600,000 in cash and checks hidden inside the church walls, years after a 2014 burglary reported the same amount stolen. The unexplained reappearance of funds prompted questions about internal oversight, security, and accounting practices. No audit or detailed explanation was provided. This incident underscored the tension between a public image of stewardship and internal financial practices, raising concerns among members, journalists, and financial watchdogs. When financial transparency is absent, even minor errors or oversights can escalate into controversies capable of threatening trust and credibility. Legal scrutiny and branding issues. Legal controversies further complicated Lakewood's reputation. In 2022, a lawsuit accused the church of using a celebrity's likeness without consent in marketing materials. While settled quietly, the case highlighted potential ethical lapses in branding and marketing strategies. Observers noted a pattern of high-risk financial and promotional decisions, suggesting that Lakewood operates with minimal external oversight. For a ministry dependent on public trust, such legal challenges amplify doubts about accountability. These events, combined with prior controversies, created a growing perception that the church's priorities might lean more toward expansion and brand cultivation than the spiritual well-being of its congregation. Security failures and a violent incident. On February 11, 2024, Lakewood faced a violent security breach when a woman armed with an AR-15 entered the sanctuary with her child. 2 people were shot, including the child, while off-duty officers neutralized the threat. Investigations revealed lapses in security protocols, including incomplete bag checks, gaps in volunteer vetting, and reliance on temporary staff rather than professional security. The incident exposed the risks inherent in operating a megachurch without comprehensive safety measures. For families, the failures were immediate and personal. For the institution, the event signaled that reputation and influence cannot shield a ministry from operational vulnerabilities. Governance and family control. Lakewood Church is tightly controlled by the Osteen family. Joel and Victoria serve as co-pastors while their children lead various departments. Every major decision, from finances to outreach, remains within this inner circle. Outside observers, including donors and members, have limited access to governance information. This concentration of power allows swift decision-making but increases risk. Without independent oversight, even minor mismanagement could escalate. Critics argue that moral authority is tied to transparency. A church operating on loyalty to a single family risks destabilization if internal conflicts, scandals, or leadership transitions occur. Fragility of the megachurch model. Megachurches like Lakewood rely heavily on the charisma and persona of their founders. Studies show that when such leaders step aside, revenue and attendance can drop dramatically, sometimes by 70% in a single year. Family succession rarely replicates the influence of a founder, and a brand built around one individual is vulnerable to public doubt. Staff, suppliers, and satellite ministries are all dependent on the continuous flow of donations tied to a single personality. Any disruption could trigger financial instability, empty seats, and a disillusioned global audience, illustrating the structural fragility of empires built on personality rather than institutional resilience. Transparency and accountability challenges. Despite operating with budgets exceeding $90 million annually, Lakewood has never released an independent audit. This lack of transparency fuels skepticism about stewardship and financial ethics. Critics argue that without accountability, public trust rests on perception rather than verifiable facts. As controversies accumulate, from flood responses to hidden cash and security lapses, the question of governance becomes urgent. Megachurches wield influence comparable to corporations, yet operate under fewer regulatory constraints. How they respond to scrutiny, demand accountability, and enforce internal checks will determine whether such institutions can maintain legitimacy in an increasingly transparent world. Conclusion: the crossroads of faith and power. Lakewood Church represents both the promise and peril of modern American megachurches. Its scale, reach, and wealth are extraordinary, but so are the risks. Legal disputes, financial opacity, and operational failures reveal vulnerabilities beneath the polished image of generosity and abundance. The ministry's future hinges on questions of accountability, succession, and public trust. In an era where scrutiny is constant and transparency demanded, the church stands at a crossroads. Its path forward will test not only its leadership, but the resilience of a model that merges faith, celebrity, and commerce on an unprecedented scale.